So I tend to gesture a lot when I'm lecturing, and I get parodied for that, which is fine. But I'm bringing that up because that indicates that it's noticeable. Now, you said that you're a recovering awkward person, but you gesture quite a lot. And so how much of the persona that you have did you develop, like consciously?
Yes.
I mean, you come across, let me see, you come across how would I say? Well, your shoulders are back. So that's relevant to that concept of fronting that you described. So you're not closed off. You're very attentive in terms of eye contact, and you use a lot of nonverbal gestures. Now, my suspicions are that would be rare among someone who's awkward. And so how would you say that you learned to let yourself use hand gestures, or did you actually practice? How much of the way that you're presenting yourself would you say is a consequence of conscious practice?
Awkwardness shows up a lot of different ways, and this is one of my favorite topics. The stereotype about awkwardness is still less gesture, less attentiveness, lack of eye contact. But that's only one way that awkwardness or even social fear shows up. There's also awkwardness in bigger, more gestures, over-the-top gestures. And in fact, that's where I skew. So I skew quite high on the gestures. In fact, in nonverbal, I like to say there's always too much of a good thing. So I love a gesture, but if I had hand gestures for every single word, it would be interpretive dance. I love nodding, but I actually nod too much. I'm an over-nodder. So I skew very high on eye contact, gestures, movement, nodding. So I've had to just dial down a little bit. So it's always when people work with me, I'm like, okay, we got to figure out, where are you? Are you on the low end where we have to dial up to your comfort level, but we have to add a little more gesture? Or are you too high? So when I was, for example, let's take nodding. Nodding in Western cultures, actually most cultures except Bulgaria, India, and Pakistan, this vertical nod is a yes and a horizontal nod is a no. So we recognize this in those cultures as being affirmative or agreeing. Also, if the research shows that if I triple nod while you're speaking, you're likely to speak 67% longer. So if I want you to open up and I go, that tells you I'm here, tell me more. But if I'm in conversation with you and the entire time I'm, it actually takes away my competence. It makes me look like I am too agreeable or a people pleaser. So I've had to replace the nod with a head tilt because it's physically impossible to do both at once. So I had some awkward moments there where I was like, I have to nod less, even especially if I don't agree with someone. So what was happening for me on a personal note is I was over nodding, I was over gesturing, I had too much movement, and it was distracting. And I didn't even agree with folks. I was just so nervous about being liked. I so wanted to be liked that, I would, yes, Jordan, please like me. I would be nodding to you. And I realized that was not serving me because it actually made me look too trusting, too open. And so what you see in front of you is me with calmed gestures and calm nodding. I also try really hard to not fake a cue because I think that you can't fake it. I think that people pick up on it. They are inauthentic. So if I don't actually like something, I will not smile. As a recovering awkward person, I would smile by default all the time because I wanted people to like me. So the other way awkwardness dresses up is that sort of fake smile. Do you like me? And we read that as inauthentic. And so I have also, if I have the tendency, even with you, to smile for you. Like I want to smile and say, this is good. But if I'm like, nope, I only smile if I actually feel excited about an answer or if I actually feel excited about something. So awkwardness kind of dresses up in two different extremes.
As a spouse, a parent, or a leader, people count on you. But if you're constantly tired, unfocused, and just not feeling like yourself, how can you show up the way they need you to? That's where Marek Health comes in. Marek is a premier health optimization platform that uses comprehensive lab work, not guesswork, to uncover what's really going on in your body. Hormones, thyroid inflammation, nutrient levels, the markers that matter. Their expert clinical teams build a personalized, research-backed plan just for you, whether it's lifestyle changes, supplements, or prescription treatments. When you know what's going on inside, you can lead with clarity, show up with energy, and stay sharp for your family, your team, and yourself. Head over to MarekHealth.com and use code Peterson for 10% off to join their guided optimization program with your personal medical team. That's MarekHealth.com, code Peterson. Stop guessing, start leading, and start with Marek Health.
Right. So that triple nod, that seems to me something like, I get it, then I think about it, then I agree. Maybe that's the signaling of the trifecta.
Oh, I like it. I never thought about that before. Maybe it's I hear you, right? Like that acknowledgement, yes. And yeah, and then you're internalizing it. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah. And then it's like, keep going.
Yeah, and you're signaling it.
And then, by the way, look at the difference. So nonverbal is so interesting. A slow triple nod, interest, curiosity, engagement. A fast triple nod, impatience. So watch the difference. So we go, tell me more.
Yeah, right.
Versus,
Yeah, get on with it, right?
Let's
That's
go.
an indication to mimic my speed and to move more rapidly towards your goal, right? To be the same as this. Yeah. So that smiling too.
Yeah.
That is a proclivity of women more.
Yes.
Because if you look at men and women are approximately equal in extroversion, but you can break extroversion down into assertiveness and enthusiasm.
Outgoing, yeah. Enthusiasm, yeah.
And women score higher on enthusiasm. So they're signaling more positive emotion as a general rule. And so they'll smile more as well. So that up talk and the hunch combined with nodding, that definitely signals subordinate status, right? And I suppose those are appeasement gestures in some way, because if you signal that you're harmless, or you're signaling, even though you don't know it, that you're like a child, then you're going to present yourself as an inappropriate target of aggression or perhaps even competition. And so maybe you want that in some circumstances, but if you're attempting to market yourself as competent, that seems like a bad approach. I wonder, there is this trope, which is mostly false, that women are underpaid compared to men, let's say in the same position. Now, most of that's rubbish or can be accounted for by factors other than sex. But I've always had the suspicion that some of that might be agreeableness, right? Because women are higher in agreeableness than men. And it isn't exactly obvious that the proper way to negotiate a raise, let's say, is through excess agreeableness, because what you're signaling is that you'll pretty much put up with anything because you're dependent. All those things we talked about, the uplift, the condensed body, too much nodding, too much smiling, that all indicates a state. It's signaling dependency. And that's not appropriate if you're trying to sell something. And it's not appropriate if you're trying to bargain for a raise or a promotion. It signals exactly the opposite. So do you know of any research linking these immature styles of self-presentation to wage, to earnings?